welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. And we can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I am your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea. Her. And I do love having my cup mug available because why not? Yay. You can get your cup mug. I know, Brooke. I know. I know you don't have your
Did
cup mug
Logan
because
tell you
you
what I did?
did you leave your cup mug behind, Brooke?
Luke's mailing it to me, but I definitely did.
Not that.
Second
I
time
will.
I've done that in the past 3 moves, by the way.
You see how important the cup mug is to Brooke, but it's very important to me.
I
I take
keep
it
it
everywhere
beside
I
my
go.
desk, and I
I,
forgot
t-
to go grab my stuff off my desk.
I take it everywhere I go, even when I'm not home. My cup mug travels with me because cup mugs are important. And you can get one of them at lanascreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses. Get your cup mug, period, and then take it with you when you move. Thank you.
Well, hi everybody. I'm Brooke, and I'm passionate about pop culture, and apparently I'm not
Not pop
passionate about
cup
packing.
mugs.
Not passionate about packing properly. Um, I will say, it was among one of many things that I left in my old apartment, including but not limited to my blender, my cup mug. I left a lot of stuff.
And your dignity.
I can't leave what I don't have. Um,
You have plenty. Stop it.
Beside the point, I may have forgotten my cup mug, but I did not forget to remind you all that I am once again the CEO of the Parvati Shallow Fan Club. And we are living our best life thus far on Aussie Survivor this season. It's a beautiful time to be alive.
I love that.
Well, I'm David Healy, and I am the Survivor superfan of the podcast. I wasn't here to talk about the past 2 episodes, and 2 of my all-time favorites left in those episodes. So I had to come and talk on this so that I could end that streak, and it worked.
They knew you were coming, and they were like, "Okay, well, we can't let send a favor of David's home." Yeah, even though somebody.
David, out of the world tribe, who would have hurt you the most if they went home this episode?
Oh, Sari, for
Three.
sure.
Okay, yes, but like out of the reasonable choices, it would have hurt you the most.
I mean, who got a vote? Who got a vote?
Period. Who
I'm
got
sorry,
a
there's
vote?
no way Sari is going to be living in a non-bullshit fashion on any season of Survivor she's on.
Like,
Obviously, Parvati would be the next most upsetting
yes,
choice.
yes, absolutely. It was interesting. This episode, y'all, I'm still sad. I'm still here. I'm still excited. Every episode thus far has not been a miss. Every episode has been hit after hit after hit after hit. I am loving this season of Survivor Australia versus the world because everybody is playing at the top tier of the top tier level of playing this game, and I am loving every second of it, and we're going to talk all about it. I am too excited to talk about it, so we're gonna do it. But before we do, let's get the business crap out the way. Follow this channel because we are trying to get 1,000 subscribers. I'm about to say 1,000,000, but we would love to get 1,000,000 someday, but we're going to focus smaller right now. 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. We would truly, truly appreciate you if you subscribe to this channel. If you have already, we love you. Thank you so much. There you go. Here, it's not going to work again. Like, you hate me today. It worked before. I'm sorry, but you see the love. And if you haven't subscribed and this is your first time here, welcome. We'll give you a party if it lets me. You get balloons, yay! Welcome to the Cup and TV, and then you can hit that subscribe button because, like I said, 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. You can also follow all of our other channels. The links are in the description below in our link tree. Our drag channel, our Eurovision channel, and our wrestling channel. So all those links will be there. You can click it, subscribe, help us out because they too are trying to get 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. Our audio podcast links are down there. So if you need to check us out on the go, that is down there for you. Our Patreon is there and it's open for you to get exclusive content, things that will never come out on the channel, and some early access. You'll be the first to see some things that come out, and that will come out much later on the channel. So check all of that out. And yeah, follow us on all of our socials at The Cut Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. And if you have ever said to yourself, you know what, I enjoy Survivor, Australia versus the World, or any other Survivor, or any other competitive reality TV show that we're talking about, or any show that we talk about, and you say, I'm passionate about this show, but I don't have anybody to talk about it with, and I want to talk about it, you know what you could do? We're looking for panelists. Hit us up in our Instagram DM at the Cup Pod, because that's probably the best place you can catch us. You hit us up in our DMs. We will get back to you very quickly on how you could be a part of this podcast, because we want to hear different perspectives from different voices all over the world. So wherever you are, if you have a perspective, if you want to talk about a show, hit us up, let us know, and we'll get back to you very, very quickly. So check it out, and thank you. Now it's time to talk about this episode, and I'm excited because the king is gone, and everybody sees that the king is gone. We done made the jokes. Everybody just said that we done got rid of the gods, and we done got rid of a king. So who's next?
I mean, there's still a couple of kings. We had two different people on this cast
Mhm.
refer to themselves as King of the Jungle on their first season. So
Mhm.
maybe not looking good for Luke or Tony.
I mean, but here's the thing, it's so funny because yes, they did call themselves the King of the Jungle on their respective series, but they're not saying that much out here in this season. We only heard the Golden God and the King of Bankshead, Banks
Bankstown.
Bankstown. Bankstown. I'm thinking of Atlanta. Sorry. The King of Bankstown. We've heard those monikers come out in this season from their mouths. But Luke said it like once. He was like, I mean, George says he's the king of Bankstown, but I'm still the king of the jungle. He said that in his confessional. He ain't say it out loud to everybody while everybody was around. So Luke is like, yeah, no, I'm gonna keep that king title down. And Tony ain't mentioned it at all. Tony ain't said nothing about king or nothing. Because they were like, I'm gonna let them guys have it. But yeah, Shawnee is really very, very proud of herself. She's very happy about the outcome. She's like, I did what I did, and George is gone. And I was like, okay, girl.
When she said she felt bad because he wanted to get to the 100-day mark, but she had to cut him short at 99 because she's in the 100+ day club and she couldn't let him join. I was like, okay, that's a fun kind of petty. Also, I want to give credit to George for how well he took his blindside last week and how he was celebrating Shawnee. I don't think we gave enough credit for how he handled it on the podcast. So he was a class act when he left.
I think I did say that. We said George handled it well. I think I did say that, but I'm not sure. Maybe not. I don't know. I could be lying right now. But
I mean, look, this is his third time playing. It's his second time being voted out. Quite frankly, if any of these people show up and they act a certain way after they get eliminated, I would be a little bit put off from them. And I think everyone here is just like game knows game. And like, I don't think anybody's going to act a certain way when they get voted out. I hope not. Because this isn't that isn't the energy the season's had. So like, again, am I particularly happy that George went home in the last episode? Yes, because I don't enjoy him as a presence on my TV. However, do I think that George did anything wrong or particularly awful this season? No, I think he was fine.
Right.
So
yeah, I
3 episodes was just enough. That is all I needed.
I always enjoyed George. I've always enjoyed George, but I said even on the recap last week, I said that last episode, he kind of did it to himself. He was just kind of too George. He was Georging a higher level of George than needed to be. He could have toned down the George just a tad. I think he would have been okay, but he was Georging. He was peacocking. He was definitely doing a lot. And so he did it himself. But I do think everyone's going to handle it with grace because this ain't their first time in a row down the road. Some of them ain't never lost before. Some of them ain't played Survivor and lost before. And They just getting the quick. Rob, I'm looking at you. But I think,
There's only one person left who hasn't lost before.
yeah. Lisa, watch out,
Mother
girl.
Lisa.
Watch
Mother
out,
Lisa.
girl.
She's gonna be so bitter.
She's gonna be like, "What do you mean I lost?
How dare you, Sari?
Dare you, son?"
I cannot imagine Lisa if for whatever reason, if Sari does vote Lisa out, Lisa's gonna cry tears of
love it.
joy that she is yet another victim of Sari Fields, which is the
But-
exact same thing I would do. If I got voted out by Sari and anything, I'm like, you know what? At least I can be added to the legacy. Thank you very much. Bow down to mother.
I love it. So really, she was thanks to Ree. Like, you know what, you voted me out. Thank you. I really appreciate you doing that for me. I love it. But no, yeah, I don't know. I think everybody's gonna handle it with grace because honestly, what can you do at this point? It's like you can't really do nothing else. But George did handle it really well for us, so that was good to see. But getting back to this, everybody's like I said, Shawnee feeling herself. She's just like, yes, I did that. I did that and I love it. And everybody's like, okay, now what? Now what do we do next? I love how fast everybody shifts from like, okay, we're in this moment, let's move to the next. Like, we got rid of George, cool. I'm happy, Shawnee. Now, before everybody can go to bed, who we looking at next? If something happens, who we looking at next? I kind of live. I would hate to play it because I don't like fast paced games like that because that drives me crazy. But I love watching it. I love watching it. And the next day we go right. Do we go to Australian drive? Still, yeah, we're still in Aussie land. And it's Sarah's feeling a little weirded out by Kirby. She's like, Kirby is seems like she's distancing herself from me. I don't know what it is. I don't feel like I like this. And I was like, oh, oh no, Sarah, no, you and Kirby are fine. Leave it alone. Let's just calm it down. But she's like, Kirby getting ready to walk away. She's like, you want me to come with you? Kirby's like, nah, it's cool. And she was like, oh no. Oh no. And I was like, it's okay, Sarah. Don't get paranoid. It's okay. I was scared. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I think this is a classic case of buyer's remorse.
Mhm.
Because, like we said in the preseason, everything pointed at a four-person alliance. Like everything pointed towards that. And by some happenstance, like a miracle, they were able to get somebody to flip on that four-person alliance. And I think Sarah's had regret about it ever since. And she's just been trying to justify, how can I turn on these people that I already turned on my people for? And I don't know if she's going to be successful or not, but you can tell like she's just itching to fix the wrong she did.
Yeah. She's trying to get back with Luke and Janine so badly that she's still just misstepping every single time she does it. And it was making me nervous throughout this episode. Like after the whole her and Kirby thing, she was just like spiraling and spiraling. He's like, oh God, I don't know. I don't think Kirby trusts me anymore. So she runs to Janine. Thank God we get to see more Janine in this episode because I was like dying. Like, hello, I want to know this woman. I didn't get to watch her season. Please let me get to know her and see her survivor brain working. We finally saw her survivor brain working. I was like, okay. Because Janine was like, I messed up yesterday in this vote by being so paranoid myself because I was like, vote for vote Shawnee, don't vote George. Like in the middle of tribal because she just got so paranoid all of a sudden. So now she's trying to fix what she was like, what she calls was a stuff up. She was like, I don't know. I just want to fix it. So she's listening to Sarah, and Sarah's like, I just think that Kirby doesn't trust me anymore. So I kind of think we might need to get rid of Kirby. Wait. No. Never mind. Forget I said that. Take it back. Remove it from your brain. I never said it. Not Kirby at all. Stick to Shawnee. Shawnee is the one. Never said Kirby. Don't want to talk about it anymore. And I was like, oh, God, Sarah. Don't you know when you open your mouth and say something, it can't be unheard? Doesn't matter if you take it back. It cannot be unheard. And Janine was like, A crack? Is that a crack? Because Janine and Luke feel like they got to have each other's back at this point because they feel like the other three are going to come for them if they happen to lose. So we need each other in this moment. We need to stick together. And Luke is like, I don't say this often and I don't say this many times, but final two maybe? And she was like, yes. Absolutely, we ride this out to the end. And I honestly think that's the truth. Like they will stick to their word if they as much as they possibly can. They really want to do a final two, and I think they would do it if they could. So I don't think this is just saying it just to say it
Yeah.
type deal.
At first, when Janine agreed to it, I was like, oh, Janine, that's dangerous because I think Luke is somebody who could get a lot of votes if he makes it to the end, especially with the story of this season being all of the men being taken out early. But then I'm like, who else is there? Like everybody's a threat this season. So I think it's going to be very difficult for Janine to find somebody to take to the end that she can beat unless she starts making some really visible moves because she's really the person I think out of the whole cast that's kind of taking it slow.
Mm-hmm.
So she needs to compensate for it.
Absolutely. Brooke, what you thinking?
I kind of see that, but I also have to think about how Janine is being showcased to this point. This doesn't feel like Janine to me right now. This doesn't, I don't know. This feels off. Like something about where things are going with those two specifically with Janine and Luke feels weird. And I can't really put my finger on what it is. I don't know if we're getting primed for like something with them. Again, we're going to get into it more later with the next episode with the merge coming up. I don't know what's going to happen there for them. I'm hoping that this is going to lead to both of them getting more time together. But I mean, I see where she's coming from, and you do need that one person. Everybody that's done well at this game will tell you need at least that one person that you can bank on to be there for you whenever. So, like, if this is the person she has chosen, I don't know if it's the best choice, but out of the people on her tribe, it makes the most sense for her. So I can't fault Janine for that. And also, they do have that history there already. So I get it. I understand. Even if I don't necessarily think it's the best play, I see where she's coming from.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think she really doesn't have nowhere else to go. She really has nowhere else to go at this point because Kirby has planted her foot right in between Sarah and Shawnee, and both of them are like true to her. So the only way anybody else could find any way in is if they eliminate Kirby, and then that leaves Shawnee and Sarah floundering to whoever is next to get some kind of control. But Kirby got that locked down with the two of them, so it's nowhere else for her to go at this point. And so I can see why she did it. And as of right now, it's a good move. Now a lot of things could change in the merge, so we'll see. But they do. They are talking, and everybody's trying to figure out what's next. Like, what do we do? What's the next play? How do we handle it? Not Sarah. Shawnee is saying Janine. She's like telling everybody who will listen, look, let's do Janine. That's the quickest and the safest vote. Kirby is now getting, I want to say, courted by Janine and Luke to possibly join them and become a trio because they feel like Kirby's probably the best choice to make. And I'm like, Kirby's just the belle of the ball this season because everybody wants to work with Kirby. I don't blame them, but because Kirby has no other connections with anybody, so they think, yeah, why not Kirby? Um, Kirby is listening to Luke and Janine and is finding reasons why this might work. But this is why I said I'm so glad we saw more of Janine because Janine takes the little information that she got from Sarah, the take backseat information, tells Luke, hey, Remember we were saying wasn't no crack between them? I think I just found one because Sarah just told me that she wanted to get rid of Kirby. Now she didn't. She omitted the part where she said takesy backsies. She admitted that part. She omitted that part. She didn't say, "Oh, but she took it back." No, she was like, she told me she wanted to get rid of Kirby. So, and Luke was like, "Really? You need to tell Kirby. You need to tell Kirby that Sarah is saying she wants to get rid of her." And she was like, "Should I tell her?" She was like, "Yeah, you definitely need to tell her." And I was like, okay, okay. I see the way this is working. We omit things. She told the truth. She just didn't tell the whole truth. But even if you did tell the whole truth, even if I was Kirby and I heard my name, but Tasty Backseat, that's not gonna feel good for me to hear that you said it, but then took it back. You know what I mean? So I just found it very interesting.
I wonder what is going to happen. Again, I'm getting a little ahead of myself talking about this, but it is something I feel like we should bring up now of how the world tribe is going to be looking at this Aussie tribe when we merge. Because everybody, it seems like, wants to work with Kirby, but like, I don't know what the perception is going to be like on the other side of the coin, on the other side of the fence here, because I look at it and I'm like, okay, if it's me, who is my first target on the Aussie tribe? If I'm, let's say, like, I'm going to use Parvati and Sari for an example, right? Who would I go after? I don't know who they would go after. I don't know what their agenda would be in this, because I mean, their alliance works on their tribe, but I don't know what they would do in a bigger sense, like a bigger, broader sense moving forward with the addition of 4 more women coming in from the Aussie tribe at this point.
Yeah, so assuming that it's true that Parvati talked to David about Rob from Survivor South Africa, if he talked to her about him, then he definitely talked to her about people that he worked with and that liked and might also be there. So I could see if David planted a good seed for Parvati and did the same thing with Luke and Janine, I could see her being drawn towards them. But it could be early bird gets a worm, and we see what happens at the challenge later on. That could be a factor in what happens at the merge.
I definitely see that too. Um, yeah, I can definitely see all of that. But we do, after that happens and after they have that conversation, we do see Kirby and Janine sneak off in the middle of the night to go have a conversation where Janine is like, "Hey, Curbs, just want to let you know, Sarah was talking about getting rid of you if we lose." And Kirby's like, "Excuse me?" And she's like, "Yeah, she told me, she came to me and said we might need to get rid of you because she said she feels like you've lost trust in her." So now Kirby's like, "Oh, see, I don't like this. See, I don't like this. I give people my trust, and then they turn around and say they don't trust. I don't trust." Like they put words in. See, I'm paraphrasing. She didn't really say all that, but I'm just paraphrasing what I felt like she said. She's kind of like, "Okay, see, I give you my trust, and now you turn around telling people that I don't trust you now, and so now you want to get rid of me." Okay, all right, Sarah, I see you. I'm here. She was like, all right. So that now has done exactly what Luke and Janine wanted and pulled Kirby closer to them, further away from Sarah. And she's like, which is funny because Sarah is trying to work very hard to get closer to Luke and Janine. And they're like, you're good because you made your bed, you made your choice, hump in it. Period. Shout out Lana. They don't want to do with it no more. They're like, you stay over there. We gonna get your girl. We gonna bring her over here. And now Kirby's like hanging out with them now. She's in the water with them, just like talking and thinking and coming up with ideas. And Sarah's name is at the forefront of her mind because now she's like, you don't trust me. And you saying I don't trust you. So you right now I don't trust you. She's like, just like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? Um, so then we go over, unless there's anything else I was talking about on the team. Honestly, because I'm like ready to go to the teen world because that's what craziness and mess is happening over there. The teen world is funny to me because I love Tony. I want you. If this is a drinking challenge, I'd be like, drink every time. Tony was like, "What? Huh? What?" Like, it's so funny to me. Tony was acting like the old man who just can't hear nothing. When everybody whisper, "What say?"
This episode specifically is the most I have ever enjoyed Tony on Survivor
Me
because
too.
every single even on the traders too, every single part of Tony in this episode either made me laugh or I was like, oh my god, this is just great, this is so entertaining. I haven't been this entertained by Tony maybe since he's told Cass that she was speaking llama. Like, it may have been that long. Because we get this really fun scene with Tony and Tommy talking, and Tony's like, best thing we can do at this point is merge. And Tony's literally admitting to Tommy, we are so screwed. If we go to tribal council, one of us is going home, and we both know it. And in that moment, I was like, this is the first time I think I've ever seen Tony not have a scheme. Tony's not scheming. I'm kind of stunned. Of course, I would be proven wrong later in the episode, of course. But it was weird to see that at first. While on the other end, we have the four women come together, and the USA girlies are trying to get them to go after Tommy, and the international girlies are trying to get them to go after Tony, and it kind of just hits at an impasse where they both don't really agree and no one really comes to a conclusion. And I like how Parvati's reason isn't because they're all US, it's because Tony's won twice and is a shield, whereas Cass and Lisa are like, no, we're working together, we already have an established alliance, voting out Tommy for us makes no sense. Like,
it's surprising with how open some of the people are with their alliances, especially like Sarah and Kirby being so open about, oh yeah, we're a duo. And now we have the internationals being like, yeah, we don't want any of the internationals to go. But I think one of my favorite aspects to this episode was every time Cass was debating on which one should go, she'd be like, should we get rid of Tony or should we get rid of Tommy? You all want Tony, but I want Tommy. So Tony. Like, she says Tommy instead of Tommy. So they sound so similar. Like, even at tribal council, like, I'm skipping ahead, but she said one of their names. I'm like, wait, which one did you just tell them?
Okay, I'll tell you right now, it very much gave me, like, and this is such a dumb thing, but it gave me, there was this one, God, what show is it? Literally, there were two people that had the same name, and because someone wasn't clear about which person they wanted to vote out, they voted out one of the people with the same name, but they meant the other person. And I do not remember what show it was. This was years ago, too. But it was one of the single funniest things I have ever witnessed in my life. And God, I can't remember what it was. It was ages ago. But it was the same energy for me. I love Cass, but that Quebec accent can be a little fun sometimes.
It's so funny to hear. She's like, Tommy. And we're like, who? Girl, the same thing, but no. I enjoyed that girls' conversation where they were like, look, you want Tony, we want Tommy. What are we gonna do? And they're like, what are we gonna do? I don't know. What are we gonna do? It was just like, so I guess we're at a crossroads. So we'll figure it out once we get to the challenge. Maybe we won't even need to figure it out. Maybe we won't have to do it. So we'll just figure it out after the challenge if we lose. But Tommy and Tony are like, it's probably one of us though, right? And Tommy is like, what do you mean it's one of us? It's like, I think it might be one of us. And I agree with you, Brooke. This was the first time we didn't see Tony with a plan already. Like, Tony usually have plan A, B, C, and D ready to go. Tony had nothing. He had nothing. He was just like, I don't know what to do. But we did see the brain start, the wheels start spinning after a while with Tony. He just sat there. He was just like, hmm. So I was like, oh, he's thinking. He's trying to think of what's the best way to do this now if we lose, because he doesn't want to get caught out there just without anything. But he was thinking about it, but he just didn't really know what to do until after that challenge. The wheels started spinning for real after the challenge, because when we'll talk about that. But yeah, before that, he was like, I don't know what to do, but I'm thinking about it.
See, that's a difficult thing with a season like this, with this type of cast, is
Mhm.
the amount of agency you have is often dictated by, oh, what did you do on your other seasons? You come in here as a blank slate? Nope. You come in here in a negative. You're at a deficit. So for me, I do not think anybody's legacies can truly be hurt by this season,
Oh
because
no.
some people are just coming in at a disadvantage. I think people's legacies can definitely be improved, but not hurt for me.
I will tell you right now, you know who I think, outside of the people who didn't really have that like global exposure before this, so people like Lisa, people like Tommy, people like Cass, I think the person whose legacy has really improved the most thus far this season is Kirby. And that's just from what? One episode of outright dominance in the social and strategic game
Hmm.
over one of the most popular winners in the history of Australian Survivor. And like, granted, we love Kirby, always have, always will. But seeing that and like watching how her legacy online, the online reaction after that was not David really ruined his legacy by coming back to Survivor. It was, oh my God, Kirby's amazing. Like, and that's why I kind of like these All-Star seasons a little bit more than some other people might, because we do get to see some of these people come back and show us what made them so special to begin with.
Right.
Hmm.
It's funny because I was not here to talk about that episode, but what's funny to me is Kirby being able to get David out was a product of her not watching the show, her not being familiar with dynamics. Because I guarantee you, if she knew, there's Kirby, if she knew the history that David had with so many of the people, including Sarah, she wouldn't have approached the subject. Because even when she talked to George is like, you have to be careful saying this stuff because you don't know about all of his spies he has. And I think her not knowing about the spies is what helped her make a move that on paper should have been suicide for her. Like, it should have ended her game. But she just went for it because she didn't know better, and it actually landed.
Yeah,
So it's pretty impressive.
I think the mix of that, her not knowing, and then the mix of people knowing and knowing that if somebody is ready to make that move, and I just jump on board with it because we know he can't be here. We know he can't. We don't want to be the one to say it because I kind of worked with David before, or I've seen his work before. I've seen what he does. Kirby not knowing is like, I don't really know, don't really care. So I'm gonna go do it. If you down with it, let's do it. And they're like, oh, so somebody is willing to do it. I was thinking it, but I wouldn't go say it. But she said it, so I'm gonna let my thoughts come on out, and I'll be like, I'm gonna ride with you if you can get enough people to do it. Yeah. So I think it was a mix of people wanting to do it, but scared to actually do it, and Kirby being able to say, I don't really care because I don't really know this man. I just know what he called himself, and I don't have no other gods before me, so therefore he gotta go. And I was like, work. You if you go in a game not knowing somebody's legacy, you don't care. I don't know you. So I'm just gonna do what I think is best. And if everybody is hyping you up, I need to get you out of here because that's just the way. That's why I stopped playing games, everybody, because apparently my legacy got too big for me and I don't win anymore because they just cut me out at the knees. And it's okay, I don't miss it at all.
Well, I mean, hey, let us know in the comments down below just how much you want to see an idea that we have had cooking behind the scenes a little bit here lately. Info may be coming soon to both this channel and the Cut Pod channel. Keep an eye out on that one.
Yeah, keep an eye on it. It's an idea brewing behind the scenes with the cup on the cup amongst us panelists, but we'll see if that ever happens, if it ever takes flight. But I'm still scared. I'm still scared, even amongst this group of people. I'm so scared.
Real. Okay. Also, you know what's really fun about the idea that we're not getting into anything more specific? I just want to see River play a game like this.
I don't know. I would love it. It's a few people in this I would love to see play, and there's a few people I'm like, I don't even want to play with y'all. I don't want to play with y'all because y'all ruthless and y'all will get me. And I'm looking at one of them now, but they're a silent assassin. Just saying. I'm just saying. Just saying.
I don't think I have ever heard someone refer to David as silent. That's a new one.
Oh no. If you ever played a game with
I'm
David,
kidding,
David is
David.
a
I'm kidding.
silent assassin. I played with David. I was like, oh,
But not
okay.
towards you.
Not towards me, no, but I've seen you do it. I'm like, period. I love it. I love it. I love seeing it. But anyway, back to what we're talking about, really survival. Because it's not about us, it's about these people. So yeah, I love seeing how this was just so good. Let's get to the challenge because the challenge is where it's at because everybody comes into and we see that it's just a row and they're like, huh, okay, what's this about? Probably everyone's like making their guesses. This is the first time the team world is seeing that George is gone. And they're very shocked, but not really. And they're like, they asked JLP asked Luke, like, that was tribal was crazy, got rid of, George or whatever. And Luke is like, yeah, it was interesting tribal. Yeah, interesting. Was it, interesting. It's like very few words. The Aussies are not talking. And the team world is like, huh, interesting. It's usually more conversation from them. And they were like, well, that's because George is no longer here. It's like,
I mean, they're not
facts. They're not wrong because George was the one doing all of the smack talking or asking questions that was trying to be invasive and intrusive into what happened into their tribals. So everyone's like, got it. George is gone. Conversation is over. But they explain they're going to play a put the box on your foot and we'll put the box on a pole, put your feet on the box, and you got to hold this box up on this pole in between these two white lines and just hold it there the longest. If you hold it up there the longest, you win. But you don't win team immunity. You win individual immunity for two people. And so everybody's like, what are you talking about, JLP? What do you mean? So it's individual immunity for two people. He's like, because both of you are going to tribal tonight. And they're like, oh, but but we'll have the fourth person eliminated from this game. And I was like, don't you mean fourth and fifth person, JLP? Don't you mean fourth and fifth? Because two people are going to tribal. I assume this is a double elimination, right? Wrong. Wrong. I could not have been more wrong. He said no. He said what he said. The fourth person will be eliminated from this game. So now everybody is tripping out like, okay, what is going on? What does this mean? But we don't have time to focus on this because we have to get right into this challenge and focus on not winning the immunity necklace.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, is a cute necklace. It's cute. I like it.
This is one of those challenges that I wish they would do something like this on Big Brother for an endurance comp. Like, this would eat on Big Brother. Oh my Lord. And it's so easy. It is so easy. Like, and the crazy thing too is I don't know why they haven't tried something like this because I remember they did it last year, the first time they had done it in years, the hold the hand up with the flimsy stick against something competition without moving your hand so the thing falls off the little thing you're holding it against. The HOH Leo one during Janky Week. That
okay. Yeah.
And I was like, this is a competition we should be doing more because I love things like the wall, but I am so sick of seeing it every season. Give me something like a fun endurance comp instead that's a little bit more equitable because this is the kind of comp that I legitimately think anybody could win.
Unless you have medical issues and you can't do it. Like Lisa.
Correct.
Lisa said, my back is not going to let me do it. And you know what, Lisa? I feel you. Because I would have had a
Relatable
medical
content.
issue for not being able to do it too. I'd be like, yeah, no. I don't care if I don't have a legitimate medical issue. Like the doctor didn't say it, but I would say, I can't do it. My doctor would say I can't, no. Because I'm not lasting Luke in this challenge. Oh,
You'd be the one giving birth.
I will be giving birth. Oh, oh. I was like, Luke, shut up, man. Just drop the box. Just drop the box.
See, even if Lisa could have technically done this challenge, like she could have made it work, I'm glad she didn't, because then we probably wouldn't have gotten the really interesting result that we ended up getting. So,
yeah.
This
was insane.
It was.
I loved it. I was like, Team World work. Team World work. Hey, down.
The entirety of Aussie dropping before a single world person dropped, stunned. And also, for the record, that includes Serene, who is not known for her challenge prowess whatsoever. But I will say, she was one of the last 3 people in this competition.
She beat somebody who has won this challenge before. She beat Shawnee.
She beat Shawnee.
She beat one of the most impressive immunity winners from a winning game ever in Tony, considering Tony won a shit ton of immunities on Winners at War. So like,
and apparently the lone wolf Tommy was one of those beasts too. Who won
Tony or Tommy?
Tommy and Tony. Tony won a lot, and then Tommy
and
won a lot.
Tony and Tommy.
They won a lot of challenges, and she beat them.
But just sitting there watching, like, at first they have like these little handles on the bottom that they have to hold on to, almost like a little sled. Like they got to hold on to it like a little sled. And the thing that actually made this challenge look like it hurt like a motherfucker was that stupid ramp they had in front of their thighs that was keeping their legs at this weird angle so they couldn't like straighten their legs out. I was watching it and I'm like, so this is the part where I would just lean back to increase the amount of pressure that's on my butt instead of on my legs. And no one did it. Not a single person. Maybe there was a rule. Maybe they couldn't lean back a certain amount, but they had to keep it in between these 2 white lines. And watching people like Luke's reactions during this first 4 minutes. Was it Shawnee that said, "Is somebody giving birth?" You're muted, David.
It was Cass, I believe.
It was Cass. Yeah. So Luke's going out of his mind. Luke drops first.
4.5 minutes in.
4.5 minutes in. That is 4.5 minutes longer than anyone on this podcast has done, but still. So Luke drops first, and then it just kind of goes on this domino effect going through the Aussie tribe.
Kirby was next, 15 minutes in.
Kirby.
Yeah. But that's when they make everybody change, and they have to put their hands behind their head.
Which, yeah, that'd probably make it a little bit harder.
Yeah.
It doesn't keep you can kind of like keep your hands to keep you stable.
True.
And, like, secure.
But you could also just like lean your head on your knees.
And that's what some people did. You saw Tony did that. A couple other people did it too. I don't know what Janine didn't really even make the transition that well, because the second that she moved her hands, she had it for about 10 seconds, and then Janine dropped her block. So we get down to Shawnee and Sarah.
Yeah. And I know the dynamics. I'm like, whoever loses here is probably going to go. But since everybody was already talking about Sarah, I was like, come on, Sarah. Like, I just because Sarah was already in trouble, I wanted her to win this.
I will always root for Shawnee no matter what. But I will say, had Sarah won this, Sarah winning, I was fine with that too. I like them both. I am rooting for them both. But it was interesting to watch. But eventually Shawnee's block just keeps sliding down the pole more and more and more and more until it finally twitches a little bit and it goes below the white line. And Sarah wins immunity for the Aussies. Yay, Sarah.
Yay.
And then the World Tribe, everybody's still in. No one's dropped yet. Not a single person.
Yeah, they all made it to the final leg where there was another change.
Quite literally, the final leg.
Yeah, the last leg. Everybody else had to remove a leg. You couldn't put it on the ground. You couldn't rest it on the little stand. You just had to let it dangle in the air. And yes, I'm doing that even though nobody can see. But yeah, I'm like, good for my girl, Sari. Who would have thought?
So Tomi drops first. He's sweating profusely during this challenge as well. But Tomi doesn't really drop. It's kind of just the block just keeps going and going and going and going. Then eventually goes under the white line, kind of like Shawnee. Then Tony has a very similar exit. So we're down to our 3 women on the World Tribe. Sari hangs in there for a little bit longer, but then she falls out. So we're down to Parvati and Cass. Parvati immediately is like, Cass, you want to make a deal?
Yeah. I'm surprised I didn't start making deals sooner. As soon as the guys were out, I kind of expected it.
Maybe they didn't want to be that transparent about it. But Parvati just goes to Cass. She's like, we can do endurance for endurance. You drop out. Whoever one of us drops out of this one gives it to the other. And then next time there's an endurance challenge, we do the same thing. And Parvati tells Cass that if she drops out of this, Parvati will do the same for her next time they're in an endurance together. And Cass is like, no.
Good for her. I mean, I wanted to see it go as long as it could go. I could tell production was like,
Parvati in an endurance comp. Like, it's Parvati in an endurance. She doesn't lose them.
Yeah, especially when she's doing this.
Especially when she's doing this. this exact motion right here. But Parvati in endurance comp, she's winning it, and Cass was starting to struggle. So in the end, she takes Parvati up on the deal, drops her block, which makes it official that Parvati and Sarah win immunity in this episode, in the individual portion of this episode.
Yeah, and we saw Parvati reiterate, like going up to Cass and saying, it's okay, I'll give you the next one. So I kind of feel like that's going to come into play. Whether she does it or not, I could see it going either way. I could see her backing out of the deal.
It was such a public thing. The thing I can always say about Parvati is even if you don't like her, she is intelligent about the deals she makes. I don't feel like she would so blatantly go back on her word unless it was a situation like a final 3 immunity.
Right. I was going to say, it depends on how far it is.
Yeah, but sure. Unless it was like a final 3 immunity and they're the last 2 and Parvati wants to vote out Cass and then she's just like, no. Yeah, so Parvati and Sarah win immunity, and JLP tells him, like, yeah, one of you will be the 4th person voted out. And everyone's like, ooh, he said it again. Eek.
One thing I felt you all failed to mention, because I was listening.
Kirby and Parvati.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I was going to say, Kirby and Parvati, even before the challenge really gets started, Kirby is looking over at Parvati and is like, hey, I want to work with you. And Parvati's like, samesies. Like, absolutely. They're like, all right. So making pre-merge promises before the merge. And I live for this, honestly.
Come on, queer women.
Oh, hello. Come on now. Y'all come and do this thing. And they did it. I loved it. I was like, work. Smart move from Kirby, because it's like you get those relationships early before anything ever happens. So when they do happen, if you're still there, hello, I got it done. And I love that for Kirby. Smart. But yeah, they all do go back to their camps now, because now they know one person is going home, but everybody's going to tribal. What's going to happen? So now, and here's where I was like, this is where all Australia versus the world was an advantage for the Aussie team because when they get back to camp, Shawnee's like, they did something like this on my season. And so I kind of think I know what's going to happen. We're going to vote somebody, and then they're going to make fire with the person that they vote. And then each person's going to vote for. Now, she was mostly right about all of this. And I
She
was
just
like,
got things out of order.
she got it though. She was like, "But we're gonna have a fire making challenge. I think we're gonna whoever we vote and whoever they vote, are gonna have a fire making challenge, and then whoever wins that person is safe, and the other person who loses is the one that actually goes home." I thank God that was not the way that happened, or with the way he did it. I'm glad the two people who had to make fire was not the way it happened because God no. But because I would have been pissed
Well,
off.
I don't know if it would have been that bad. I mean, based off of like if the situation would have happened as Shawnee envisioned, I don't think it would have been that bad.
Well, I'm talking about with the way it ended up happening. The two people.
Oh no, I wouldn't want that at all.
It would have been especially bad because one of the people was already immune.
So that was stupid. Yeah, so it was dumb. But
okay,
no.
can I just say? I think Parvati and Sarah shouldn't have had to been able to participate in this rock draw. Personally,
yes.
Yeah, because to me, it's one of the situations of if I'm Sarah Parvati, right, and I get put in this rock draw and I'm safe, and I have a target that I think would be like, I get why they can. Lose. I just feel like they are less involved in this tribal than maybe someone who is legitimately fighting for their safety. Like, if it was Parvati and Sarah having to both do it against each other, and it was the two people that won immunity do this, that would work.
I think that would have been better.
That would have worked. I wish that they would have said, okay, you two weren't involved in this, go. And I think that would have been better, personally, from a personal standpoint.
I would feel you on that because I feel like if they're both in it, I think them both doing it would have been made more sense than them participating in the rock draw, because it's like, I mean, if let's say if Parvati and Sarah both was in the fire making challenge, if they had a target that they wanted to go on their job, they just lose, and then they just make sure that person goes home. But like, if I was Parvati,
you could do that even if you're not immune, though.
Huh?
You could still do that if you're not immune. Just throw it.
I mean, you could, but like, why would if Sari or whoever, or if somebody who's not, let's say Sari and Janine, let's say if they were the two people who were in the rock draw, if they lose, their life is in danger too. Like, if Parvati and Sarah lose, they still don't care because you still can't vote me out. So do what you want to do. But if it's somebody else who doesn't have the necklace and they lose, it's like, would they turn on me if I done lost this thing? Now everybody's going to be like, you lost the fire making challenge. It could be a thing. I would have rather them not been in it, or both of them have to do it because they won immunity. But either way, I don't know. But the scramble, when everybody get back to camp, is the most amazing and amusing thing I've ever seen in my entire life, especially on Team World, because Aussie, they pretty much knew what to expect, and so they were like, okay, well, we'll just figure out who we voting for, because they still think it's a vote. Everybody still thinks it's a vote, and who they vote for is going to have to do a fire making challenge. So now it's like, well, who can make fire? Shawnee says she's pretty good at making fire. Shawnee said, I can make fire. I can do it.
Well, one thing that came up to me was a quick conversation we saw between Sarah and Kirby, where Sarah doesn't know that Kirby knows that Sarah was targeting her, even if it was
right.
But she's like, if it does come down to somebody's building a fire, would you want to be the one voted out? And Kirby's like, no. Like, honestly, that made it seem so much worse that Sarah was offering her up as the vote.
Yeah, if I was Kirby, I'd be like, okay, so I see what you're doing. You're doing. You're trying to set me up, and absolutely not. You're definitely on my hit list now. But Kirby was annoyed because Kirby's like, my plan was Sarah. But now I can't because she's immune and I can't vote for her. So now what do we do? Because I don't want to vote out Shawnee because Shawnee is really like I kind of like Shawnee, but I kind of am rocking with this other two with Janine and Luke. Do I ride with them? Do I go with Shawnee? What do I do? That's kind of that was kind of the dynamic. Like, what do we do? And who do I do? I do it on Shawnee? Do I do it on somebody else? Do I do it on Luke? Maybe. Do I? This kind of was just so wild to me. It's like I don't know, but they pretty much had their stuff like did a whole lot from the Australian time because the foolishness over there was going on Team World because they have no idea what to expect. They have no idea what they think is going to happen. And then the split with the women with Sari and Parvati wanting to keep Tony and Cass and Lisa are like, well, we don't want to get rid of Tommy because why not? The three of us are together and there's three of them. It was very much a split dynamic, and the crazy part is Tony was trying to get a reassurance from Parvati and Sari, and they just were not giving it to him. They were just like they told him really quickly, like
Tony or Tony?
it's Tommy. They kind of like it's Tommy, and then moved on. But Tony's like, okay, is this locked? Like, is this secure? And then they said nothing else about it. And then they off talking to people. And so Tony did not get any reassurance from Parvati or Sari. And so now he's panicking. And he's like, okay, so what do we do? What is happening right now? So now he's thinking, while Cass and Lisa off like making sure Tommy knows we're working together. The three of us are working together. We don't want it to be you. We just need to vote Tony. And so Tommy is secured with the two girls, but Tony is not secured with the two girls. And he's like, I don't know what's happening. This doesn't seem right. He's now starting to think about stuff. He's like, Parvati Nursery has talked about this box anymore. Nobody's talking about the box anymore. When the box was the topic of all the conversations a couple days ago, now nobody's talking about it. Why would nobody be talking about it? Because they didn't open that box. They didn't got in the box. They got whatever was in the box. They got it. He's right because if I was them, I'm like, we still got to talk about this box, y'all, because if we want to make it look like we care about what's in this box, this key is still out there. We got to keep talking about it. Sure, they got so much going on. They don't think about it. They're just like, we just not gonna talk about it. And so Tony's like, well, if they stop talking about it, it's because they got it and they know what's in it. And you won't tell me otherwise. So now he's convinced that they were in the box. They know what's in the box, and he's gonna be like, well, now I have to figure something out. And he's going back and forth. And that's when we heard so many what? Every time he was on their neck, everywhere they went, he was there. Every time they sat somewhere, he sat there. He was listen, he was everywhere. And they were like trying to shake Tony. They couldn't shake Tony. Tony was all up in their business. It was quite interesting to watch, in my opinion. I loved it. I would laugh the whole time.
Yeah, I think what made this interesting is the very first episode, we saw that Tony was content with just hearing a name and going with it. So I think Sari and Parvati kind of took for granted that Tony's just going to be chill. As long as we give him a name, he's just going to go with it. But that was the very first couple of days there. So the longer it goes, I could understand like not being content with that. Like, especially when it's somebody who is so used to dictating a lot of votes and having control. So if you're expecting Tony to just take the back seat the whole season, that's not going to happen. So I understand why they were not being as forthcoming with him, but I also understand why Tony was like, this is not cool. I need to do something, or else I can't just trust that everything's going to be okay.
Right. Absolutely. So, like I said, Tony's running around making sure that he is where the conversations are, because he's like, look, if you're not in the conversations, you are the conversation. And I don't want to become the conversation. So I need to make sure that I am heard everywhere. And so he was everywhere with them, but was not getting reassurance. So Tony was like, well, look here. I got to come up with my own plan. I got to come up with something to make sure. He's like, if I can't get an idea of what's going on, I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna make something happen. So I gotta make them think I got an idol, so they don't vote me out. That's what I gotta do. If I gotta do that, I gotta do what I gotta do. And I was like, oh, and there's the Tony that we know. There's the plan making Tony. There's the scheming Tony that I come to love and enjoy sometimes on Survivor. And this was a moment I enjoyed it. I was like, okay, Tony, do the most. Do the most. Please do the most. Because if Tony would have went out very quietly in any episodes or any gameplay or Survivor, if Tony left a game or was in a game and was quiet the entire time, I would have been so annoyed. I would have been annoyed. I'm like, how this who is this person? Like,
Not
maybe
Tony.
you're right, maybe your playing days are behind you, buddy. If this is how you go out of a game, Tony never goes out of a game or never plays the game quietly the entire time. So I was excited to see Tony playing again and giving us, instead of being that laid back side. I enjoyed it, the laid backness of the first couple of episodes, but that's about it. Like, I was ready for Tony to kick it into high gear at this point. It was like, okay, we 4 episodes in. Step it up, Tony. Kick it into high gear. Play the Tony game that we've known and loved or hated, whatever way you fall. But I want to see that Tony game be played. And Tony was sitting there, was like, okay, well, I got to do what I got to do. And I was like, yes, let's see what happens. I was like, this trial is going to be it. It's going to be lit. Whatever happens, it's going to be lit because everybody is now on edge and everybody's not knowing what is going to happen. And, so we get to tribal and everybody comes in tribal. And I was like, when they panned over it and had all the seats, I was like, yeah, this is what Verge is going to look like. I kind of love seeing all the seats there.
Imagine they had the audacity to look these people in the eye and say, congratulations, you're merged. Just like all 11 of them show up. And then they're just sitting at tribal council. They are prepared for some weird twist. And then it's just, you're merged. Congrats. Have fun. Go vote. Like,
that would have been lit, actually. That would have been lit, actually.
Yeah, I was expecting everybody to vote going into this. And I was like, how is that going to work? Because everybody's making plans on who to vote out from their own group. But if given the choice to stick with the plan they already came up with or try to target somebody on the other tribe, I'd probably go with the other, like voting somebody off the other tribe. So I bet there were contingency plans.
I don't know.
I
think it would have been borderline unanimous for Tony to go.
I don't know.
I think probably because Parvati had the necklace. I think if Parvati didn't have the necklace, she would probably have been the target. Well, maybe not with Kirby, but maybe after seeing her go an hour with her and Cass, like because they were like, whoa. The Aussie team, when they got back together, was like, whoa. They are comp beast over there. Like, all of them outlasted all of us in endurance. All of them. That's correct. Suri outlasted all of us. So they're like, this tribe is not here to play, which is intimidating. So I think if if Parvati didn't have it and they were on the other team, and if they had the other team vote for if they had each team vote for each other team, I think, I don't know. I don't even know who World would go for. Maybe Luke, but then he had the idol.
They would have the numbers.
If they didn't together. Go for Luke.
Yeah.
Well, if they
I look, you think they might have voted for Shawnee, honestly, but maybe that's just me. I think that maybe they would have voted for Luke, but I also just feel like they might have just went for the person who was probably the biggest strategic threat on that tribe. And in my mind, that is undisputedly Shawnee. So not even close. Based on their perceptions coming into that tribal council, it would have been Shawnee. They don't know what Kirby's been doing on the tribe this season, and also Kirby doesn't have the biggest reputation among these players, right? Shawnee does.
Yeah, but I consider it more of a social thing than like strategic. Like, if I think of strategic moves that Shawnee has done, there's not a lot that comes to mind.
I just vividly recall several things in Heroes versus Villains, like Shawnee, like getting the idol, like Shawnee getting the vote to flip in like, oh my god, Shawnee and Heroes vs. Villains is one of my favorite games of Survivor I've ever watched because it's effortless. Like, she's doing these things that half of the people that have ever played this game couldn't even do one of the things she does in that season, but she just moves through that game like a knife through butter. She's so impressive. They're all impressive. They're all great.
I'm kind of glad though it didn't come down to voting each other's because like I don't think that would be a fair thing because like you said they don't know what the other tribe has been doing or what each other have been the moves that have been made on the other tribe. So, but JLP quickly told him what it was. He asked Shawnee if they kind of guessed it, and she told him what her theory was, and everyone's like, oh, the world seems like, oh, okay, well we don't want to do that, but oh sure, all right. But JLP lets him know that no, it's going to be a rock draw, and everybody's going to draw rocks, and two people are going to get white rocks, and you get the white rock, you are going to be making fire. And Team Aussie went first, and Sarah was picked to do fire for the Aussies. And this is the craziest thing to me, and I don't know if they did this for production. You know, the editing was all crazy and spiced up. But did Cerise see her?
She peeked. She totally peeked. I swear.
She had to peek. She had to, but she was like, "What do I have to do to make fire? What do I have to do?" And I'm like, "Oh, Cerise, you saw that, right? You saw you picked that right, right?
No shade, right? Cerise, did you see how bright white that rock was? Okay, Cerise could have literally just went like this in her hand. I guarantee you, if she had that right rock in her hand, she would have known immediately. Considering everyone else on that cast is white. Literally, it's the tiniest speck of that glowing white rock in her hand would have been immediately obvious for her. I feel like even if she cupped it like this, if there was any gap in her hand, if she looked at her hand, she would have seen it.
Not you saying the black woman could see the white rock through her hand. I really, ew.
No, like,
I'm just kidding.
If you're holding it in your hand like this, there's like a gap in your
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, y'all. I'm just kidding. You're not wrong. We can definitely see a bright white rock, especially if they were kind of big. So I don't know if her hand, when she was pulling out, was fully closed and she saw that rock. She saw that rock.
Yeah.
Like she totally saw that rock. And it's like, son of a, when she pulled it out, she's probably like, you know what?
She goes over to Tony's like, what do I do?
What do I need to do? What do I need to do? He was like, magnesium.
We've seen her in this position before. We saw this in her very first season. It came down to fire making between her and Danielle at Final Four.
Don't remind me. Don't remind me, David Healy. Don't remind me.
I was like, I hope she's been practicing because I was definitely rooting for the world tribe. I don't know about you all.
I was too.
I root for Cerie in anything and everything she does. I don't care what it is. Cerie could be literally walking in the grocery store to go find her bag of chips, and I'm going to be rooting for Cerie in that.
Go Cerie. Go Cerie.
Check the chip aisle.
Right. Like, they have your favorite.
Grab the lace.
Like, and when she grabs her bag, like,
just like the reaction that they had to Cerie crossing the balance beam in Game Changers is my reaction to Cerie finding her chips.
I love it. But it was Cerie versus Sarah in this fire making challenge, and she was like, I know how to make fire. I know how to make it. It's gonna be fine. I know how to do this. And Tony is like, shoot, dang it. He wanted to do it. And I'm like, I really wanted you to do it, Tony. I wish you did get the white rock. I wanted to, because I'm with you, David. I was rooting for Team World. I wanted the Aussies to be down one more person, especially because I knew what was happening next. I was like, yes, I need the Aussies down one, Team World up one, and we still up. And I was loving this. But I personally was like on the edge of my seat, like, come on, Cerie, you can do this, come on. And she was getting the magnesium off, she was doing it, she was getting it. Tony's like, yeah, long strokes, long slow strokes. Just get it. And she was doing it, and I was like, okay, get it. She can do it. She can do it. Sarah was struggling a little bit too at the beginning. She looks like, all right, she doing her magnesium and she's stroking it and she ain't getting nothing. No sparks, no, she doing it, then sparks. Then all of a sudden, that spark hit, that flame hit for Sarah. I was like, oh shoot. Come on, Sari. Come. And Sarah's like, then she's swinging it. And I'm like, does that work? Does that work?
See,
This-
not true Survivor fans, but old school Survivor fans will know that Cowboy. When he was on, was it Cook Islands? He did that during a challenge with the fire, and it won for I2. So yeah, it definitely works. Look at me, look at you, David Healy. Look at me, look at you.
Y'all are there. Because I'm like, does that work? I didn't see that. But I'm like, does that work? And I was like,
his tribe was not happy with him at first. They're like, stop that, but it worked.
It worked.
That man knew what he was doing. He was like, watch my flow. Shut your mouth. Watch me work.
Watch my
Watch
flow.
me work. Watch me work. And it worked because Sarah was like swinging it. And it lit big. And I was like, oh, shoot. And so she was doing it. And I was like, okay, maybe the fire's still going down. She's sticking. The fire started going down. And they're like, and more kindling. So she takes another big old husk of the coconut husk and she put it in there and it lights you. And it's a big old flame. And now she's sticking it up. And Serena's just like,
see, this is why I love Australian Survivor, because I never have to worry about this being the end of every season. Never.
yes.
Not even remotely worried about it. Nope. It might happen. It might happen occasionally in a Final Four, but I never have to worry about this happening at the end of every season of Australian Survivor, ever.
Hopefully they will cut this out after, because when the fans vote and say, we don't want this anymore, maybe we won't have it anymore.
We'll see.
We'll see.
They rigged that damn question on that poll, too.
They did.
They're like, Final Four fire making has brought some of the most dramatic and engaging moments in Survivor series, but some fans don't like it. Do you want to do it again or not?
No, we know. Look, most fans don't like it. Most fans don't like. I would pretty say 98% of fans don't like it.
98% of fans on the internet don't like it. The casual fans, who knows?
The casuals can do whatever they want because the casuals don't watch every episode. I don't care what they want.
I don't even think they vote. I think the casual fans are like, 2 sides to vote. But I don't know. Hopefully, we'll see what happens because I can do without fire making ever again in the Final Four. I can always do without that. But anyway, so Sarah's flame is going strong at this point. She's adding sticks and the fire's going up. And then Saria's getting it. So she finally gets a spark and then it goes out, and she explodes it again, and then it goes out. And I'm like, son of a gun. Sarah's fire is licking at this rope at this point. I'm like, no, Sari, at least get a fire started so they won't say that she's weak and she can go home. Because now I'm like, if they have to vote, then they're going to start looking at Sari like, and I'm like, no, they're not going to do that. They would never do that. It's Sari. You won't do that to Sari. Poverty is still there. Lisa is still there. They're not doing that to Sari. So, okay. But Sarah just ate it up. Like, her fire was roaring. Even when the wind shifted it a little bit, it was just like, it came right on back. Sarah wins the fire making challenge. The Aussies,
peace out.
They're going back to camp. They head on out their camp. Dudes like so fast. They're like, bye.
It was literally Sarah wins immunity. 10 seconds later, they're gone. Like
as soon as they said that flag went up, everybody started packing up their bags. They're like, it's time to go. Okay, all right, we out of here. I was like, I don't blame them in the least bit. Like, I don't want to be around here when nothing goes down. So 3 is like, so mad because I know how to make fire. I know how to do it with flint. I just don't know why it wouldn't work for me. But this is where the foolishness and the chaos starts happening because now we have to decide, well, who's going to go home? Who's going to go? And the girls are like whispering back and forth. And then all of a sudden they're like, you know what? Let's just go over here and talk because I can't hear so we're like, I can't hear y'all. So
But
before girl,
before this, Tony reaches into his bag
oh yeah,
and
pulls the
pulls
shoe.
out a shoe, puts it over his neck, and says, "I have some insurance with me,
Just in case.
just in case." Tony,
Everybody's like,
sweetheart, we've all seen you play games with idols before. This isn't how you act when you have an idol typically. You are a flashy player and you always have been. You're playing with fire. Be careful. That was my immediate thought process going. I mean, because we as the viewer, we know Tony doesn't have anything unless they're pulling an Amanda Kimmel on us. But like, we know Tony doesn't have anything. But in that moment, I mean, they don't know that. The only person who can even maybe think that is Cass. So who knows? And then all the women get up, move to the corner, and they start chatting. And then Tommy is just sitting there like,
Tommy's like, so what do you think is they saying over there? It's either you or me. We're not in the conversation. JLP is like, so y'all sitting here and they're over there, and what do you think they talking about? And Tommy's like, probably one of us. And I don't think I like that. And it just Tony is like, ladies, girls, women, females, all of you, white chromosomes over there. Like he was calling them everything, trying to get their attention. Like, could y'all? Tommy's like, we're supposed to be unified, but obviously we're not. And I'm like,
I don't know about you all, but I was like, Tommy can go. Like, I'm sure he's great. I'm sure he was fun on his season. Is he bringing as much as everybody else on the tribe? I don't think so. So I was definitely hoping somehow they could figure out a way to get rid of Tommy.
I'll tell you right now, personally, for myself, I have really liked how they've been portraying Tommy on this season.
Mhm.
So I was kind of hoping, and I will be referring to him as Tommy for the rest of the season. I just want that documented, want that established now. I really like how Tommy has been like portrayed on the season as kind of like, yes, very clearly he is a capable player when he needs to be. He is strategic. He's social. People like him, but also he's kind of a little bit of a goofball and he doesn't take things ridiculously serious. We need that on this cast. Oh dear God, we need that on this cast. Because out of everybody on this cast, the only other person I could really give goofball status to is like Luke. And I don't like Luke. So therefore I will not give him that.
I personally think I like Tommy. I think Tommy was fun the first few episodes of this, but Tommy is not giving entertainment. And after a while, I want to be entertained.
No.
And Tommy is not giving me entertainment. Tommy is giving me he makes strategic moves. He does
He just talks about Finland all day.
Right. Apparently, according to JLP, Finland. It's Finland this and Finland that. But I'm like, I was like, Tommy didn't do anything to try to save themselves. He just was like, girls, do we got this? Okay, good. I'm gonna go get some more sticks. Like it was like literally playing the same Tony game the first two episodes, and I'm like, I wanted Tony to step it up. I want Tommy to step it up too, and he just wasn't. So for me, I was like, if they can get rid of Tommy, I would not. I would be sad for him, but I wouldn't be hurt about it. I wouldn't be like, oh dang, Tommy didn't make it to the to the next round. I'm like, Tommy, sucks for you, like, but let's keep it moving because Tony was definitely entertaining me this episode more that I was like, yes, keep Tony there. So I would have loved to see Tony go back, then keep Tony, and then he goes back with this rock in his shoe and this rock in his thing, and now explain yourself to what this really was. Like this shoe, it's nothing, but I had to do something. But the only thing I'm happy about with the way everything was planned out is that we saw what Tony was talking about with Tommy earlier about if they make it to merge, what they would do, what they would have to do, and I didn't want to see that, so I'm kind of like, okay, I understand, and I can say yes, I do want him to go for that reason and that reason only, but it was like Tony was like, I'm really ready to, I got this insurance policy around my neck in my shoe, and I'm ready to do this, yada, yada, yada. Then he calls out Parvati. And he was like, did Parvati tell y'all she got the key for the
Yes.
box?
Yes,
And
she did.
the girls could have been like, yeah, she did, but they were like, what? Who? What? What do you mean? Did she tell you? And he's like, I saw it. I saw her with the key. I saw her. I saw her when she came back with the key. So did she tell you that? 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 And he's like, they're like, I don't. And part is like, I don't know what you're talking about. So if you saw me, what the key look like? I didn't see the key. I just saw you had the key. Well, what does it look like? I don't know because you didn't tell me, and you had the key and you didn't tell me. So obviously we're not working together because you didn't tell me. And so he's going in on Parvati. Sari, Cass and Lisa get up and they walk over. And then Sari goes over to figure out what they saying. And Tommy goes over, and Tommy is over there with them. And Tommy is like, because Tony has told Tommy that whatever we do, just vote Sari. I'm voting Sari because we got to break up Sari and Parvati. And I was like, Tony, Tony, Tony.
In this moment, I said one word. I said one
Goodbye.
word. Adios.
Goodbye. That is literally the word
You don't
I said.
come for mother. You don't come for mother. You can come. You can come for 3 other people that are not immune at this tribal council. Even Lisa. I love Lisa, but you can come for Lisa. You cannot come for Mother Sari. It doesn't work like that. Okay? You know how many people have successfully gotten a majority vote against Sari during her entire time on Survivor? 0. It has never been done. Even in Heroes versus Villains, it took Colby playing an idol, Tom playing an idol, and JT flipping to get a plurality majority on Sari. It has never been done. You are not just going to will yourself into a position to vote for Sari. It's not happening.
The second he said it, I was like, "Oh, goodbye. You can go." Like I was rooting for you, Tony. I was rooting for you. I wanted
We were all rooting for you.
We were all rooting for you. How dare you? I was like, "How dare you?" Because like the second you said, like you said, Brooke, he could have said anybody else, and I'd been like, "Okay, well." But the second you said Sari, I was off your train. I was like, "Ooh, ain't nothing I can do for you now. There's nothing I can do for you now."
I will say, for his game, picking Sari made the most sense.
I do
understand why he said it, even if he's dumb and should still never come for Mother. But I get why he said it. I understand. Okay. You can't say Tommy's name. Tommy's the one you're talking to. You want to pick somebody Tommy's not allied with. Out of the people that are eligible, you can't pick Parvati. Sari makes no sense. I get it. I understand. You still don't come for Mother.
No. And poor Parvati. Parvati can't catch a break at these tribals.
Everybody Parvati's sitting here immune, and she is getting so much heat for no reason.
I guarantee you it took so much self-control for her to not say, Tony, I'm the one trying to keep you. But you can't say that because then that alienates Tommy once he's still on the tribe later on. But I bet she was like, you knucklehead. Like, you're coming from the one person who's fighting for you the most.
It was ridiculous. I was like, Tony, oh, I get why you're doing this. I understand why you're doing this. Everything he did made sense for his game.
Yeah, there were lots of red flags.
Absolutely. Absolute red flag after red flag after red flag was thrown his way. So I get it. I understood why he did it. But like I said, the second you say Sari to me in my ears hear that, I'm like, ooh, I turned off. I tune off. It's like everybody can go after this point. Like you can go. But everything he said and said and what he was in going for Parvati, all of that made sense. He didn't know if the girl shared the information. So he was hoping that maybe they would see Parvati as a little more of a threat, less not very honest about certain things. So then they'll vote with him. We're getting rid of Parvati's number one alliance and Suri. So I get why he did what he did. It all made sense why he did it. I just was like, for you to come from Suri, Tony, I'm just not happy to hear that. And neither was everybody else because that vote was unanimous besides Tony's one vote for Suri. Everybody voted out Tony. Tony
She
was
said,
eliminated.
what's with Sari getting votes?
Right.
I love
She said, I was like, I love
in
that.
third person. Also, I
What?
really like Parvati's voting confessional, and she's like, "When you're backed in a corner, Kitty's got claws."
I also love Tony on his way out. He goes, "Well, at least I can go home with a rock in my sock." Which
This man's cracked me up getting up, doing this whole theatrical thing when they were like, when Jonathan asked for an idol, he gets up. It's like, well, I need assurance for myself, and I was going to save this for the merge, but
It confused
you
me,
know,
honestly. I was like,
I'm still
like,
gonna
wait,
save it for the
I'm
merge.
pretty positive you don't have an idol.
you don't have one. He was
Why
like,
are you still walking up there?
he walking up, and I will just, you know what? I will save it for the merge. I
He
will
pulled
save
an
it for the
Adam
merge.
Klein without playing the podium. It was quite fun.
I enjoyed the theatrics of it all, so I was here for it. I was like, yes, Tony, if you're going to go out, this is how I want Tony to go out, with doing the most. And Tony did the most, and I was here for it. So shout out to you, Tony. You
And
ate,
also
you ate
look
with
at
that.
this. Look at this lovely uniform cast graphic. This is so nice.
Isn't
like,
that appealing?
I will
Stunning.
say, watch out. Anybody that is like Luke and Lisa, watch
Uh-oh.
out. Shawnee, and I'm not saying the other possibility there, watch out. You never know.
I'm glad you
never
stopped at
know.
Shawnee instead of
Yeah,
going.
Shawnee, watch out. Just
Shawnee,
Shawnee.
watch
And only
out.
Shawnee. Shawnee and only Shawnee is going to skip and go down or over. Like, Tommy, you're next.
Yeah.
Tell me you're
Sorry.
next.
Like, it's going to go down.
It
It's
does
gonna,
like a little bit of a zigzag.
right, it's going to zigzag. It's going to go up,
Oh,
down.
but wait, that
That's
means
what that
Parvati is
is.
coming at some point. That's not okay either.
But see, it's just like
Aussies, watch out. You're gonna get blacked out at the top.
Janine, watch out. It's
Janine,
coming,
watch
it's coming
out.
for you next. It's coming for you
Mhm,
next,
Janine, watch
girl.
out.
But
You're in danger, girl.
you're a danger girl. Unfortunately.
Mhm.
But yeah, this is appeasing to the eye, I do say. I kind of like it. But I'm like I said, I'm very happy Tony went out playing with guns a-blazing like we know Tony to do. But like you said, David, in our chat, that second, he didn't go out on the second elimination, but he was the second time he could be voted out,
Mm-hmm.
and he got voted out.
And that
So
keeps up with the trend.
Yep.
But what did break the trend on our draft, the L's took a break this week. Thank goodness, because the L's were getting ate up for the first 3 episodes. But now this side has started to take a hit. David took his first hit in the draft with Tony going out. So Jack and Brooke, you're
For the
up
record,
next.
I didn't draft Tony though. I got stuck with
No,
Tony.
you got stuck with Tony. True. Very
But I wasn't
true.
mad about it because I
For real
like
talk, would
Tony.
you have taken Tommy or Cass over Tony?
It depends. So I think logically, like Cass makes sense to draft out of those people. But I probably would have picked Tony just for I don't know, rooting interest. Yeah.
I mean, look, only one of us has a tribe full of cunty women. That's all I have to say about that. And you know what? One of my girls.
I mean, I do now.
Oh, you do now. You definitely do.
And Lewis.
And Lewis does now. Logan does
Woman.
now.
Okay, I have a tribe of 3 country women. Let me put it that way.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, I mean, we're almost halfway through. So like 9 episodes. It's 3 weeks, 9 episode extravaganza.
10 episodes.
When are we going to start getting these double elims? Because they have to be happening at some point. Because they can't just do 9 episodes with.
It's 10 episodes.
Oh, it's 10? Okay.
It's 10 episodes.
Okay. Well, still.
But
Is jury
9 now.
Jury starting at, well, we do know, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched the episode as well, we do know we're merging. Merge is happening. And the Survivor auction! Yay!
I love a good auction.
I love a good auction.
What, did we talk about Parvati getting the idol?
Oh, yeah, that happened too.
And she made
funny.
JLP hold her torch.
She said, hold my torch. Like, that was such a boss chick move.
And
I'm
Cass
here for it.
turned her
Cass
back
seen
and
it.
watched Parvati do it. But like, I feel like we're getting set up for a Parvati versus Cass thing happening shortly, because like this episode just kind of teased it a few too many times for me. I feel like there's going to be something that happens. I don't know if it'll happen next episode, but shortly, where it's going to be Parvati leading a group of people and Cass leading a group of people, and at some point they're going to be the final two in an endurance comp, and Cass is going to ask Parvati to make her go back to honor the deal, and Parvati's going to be like, no,
I can't hear you.
I can already see where the lines are going to be drawn, and I can see it happening because Parvati, not Parvati, Kirby wants to work with Parvati. Yeah, I meant Parvati. So Kirby, Parvati, that side, like you said, David, the Janine, Luke, and David of it all could come into play here because David probably talked up Parvati. So I think maybe Luke and Janine might be like, maybe we get Parvati. They saw how good she is in endurance challenges, so why not want a Parvati, which is going to bring Sari onto that side. Maybe Sari is going to play the middle. Sari is going to be in the middle of that because it's going to be Parvati, Janine, Luke, Sari-ish, maybe. But then we have Lisa, who I think is going to stick with Cass, who I think Sari and Lisa are going to be the bridge between those two sides because I think Cass, Lisa, Tommy, uh, Sarah might, because she doesn't fully trust Kirby, and she's gonna see Kirby with the Janine. I think this might split right down the middle with Sari and Lisa being the bridge for those two sides. Shawnee too, maybe. Shawnee might join that middle ground too, but unless they come in saying we got to get rid of Shawnee, which is possible because of legacy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is one of the most unsure merges I've been like I've witnessed for a while of like I really don't know where the dynamics are going to go. I could honestly see it being a tie and idols being played, hopefully on the
I
right
can see
people.
that too. I mean, there's 3 idols floating around there.
I don't know, because I think Tommy is going to want to be in a better position. I think that's the important thing. But I also think that perhaps Luke and Janine will want to be in a better position because they're the minority on the Aussie tribe right now. Even if Sarah and Kirby are like hanging together by this tiny little thread of a vote at this point. So like, I don't really know what's going to happen next. All I can say is Shawnee better make it through. Because if she does, she will become the first 4-time player in the history of Global Survivor to have gotten a single-digit placement on all 4 of her seasons. First one ever. So I don't care who goes home next week. I don't want it to be Parvati. It won't be. I don't want it to be Sari. It won't be. And I don't want it to be Shawnee. It better not be.
But if we want to keep up Shawnee's streak of her getting a lower placement each season she plays, I think she would have to go out next.
No, that's not what it is. That is not what the thing is, David. Is Shawnee is collecting a variety of single-digit placements until she inevitably wins. That's the joke, David, and you know it.
We'll see. But okay, but I do want to know, what do we think? Who do we think is going out next? I know we went around the way and talked about what we think, who could, who might side with who and where. But where do you think is going to land? Who is leaving us next week? Okay. Or tomorrow? Not next week. Tomorrow. Who's leaving us tomorrow?
Barring immunity, because we don't know who wins immunity. We don't even know the challenges yet. I'm going to say this. I think Tommy is going to try to flip to the Aussies. Realize that Janine and Luke are flipping to the world side, at least for this vote. Tommy is going to come back around, and I think World is going to have a 7-3 majority on this next vote, and I think Sarah's going to jump ship too. So then it's going to come down to Kirby and Shawnee. I think it might be Kirby, unfortunately, is just where my brain's at. I think it could be Kirby. I think we might be now granted, we did have that whole scene with Kirby and Parvati in this episode, and maybe they'll work with them instead of Luke and Janine, and it'll end up being Janine. I could really see it being anybody other than Parvati at this point, honestly, though.
Well,
Yeah, I think once we merge, we're going to see 8 women get together and be like, this is hilarious. We have an opportunity to keep this going. But I do think Luke has somebody there to vouch for him a little bit more than Tommy does. I know Tommy has Cass, but Tommy just met Cass. Janine has known Luke for a long time. So I could see everybody just coming together and being like, yeah, let's get rid of Tommy now, Luke next.
Which is dangerous because, Luke has an eye.
Which is, and could win different immunities. Yeah, I kind of think it might boil down to Tommy. I think Tommy is my guess. It'll be I won't say educated guess because I don't know how educated I am about it. But I just think for some reason I'm feeling the vote falling on Tommy. I think Luke is going to be like, I think maybe it starts off Luke and Luke plays his idol and it falls on Tommy because they split the vote.
Do you think that Janine would turn on Luke like that, though? That's where my brain's at.
No,
because if Janine doesn't turn on Luke, then they don't have the numbers to get a split. So,
I think Janine tells Luke to play his idol because she wants to be a part of the girls' alliance. So I think she does it, but she knows she can't. She don't want Luke to go. So she's like, if you have an idol, I think you should play it.
What if it's like a Yunan on Luke and Luke plays his idol and then Luke blindsides like Cass or like not gonna say the other name that is much more likely to be blindsided in this event. But
I cannot have another idol outvote. I cannot do it.
I can't. It's happened to her twice. I can't have it happen a third time.
Oh, I would scream and lose my mind if that happens. But I don't know. I'm just gonna stick with Tommy. That's gonna be my vote or my thought. But we'll be back here tomorrow. Well, somebody will be back here tomorrow. I'm not gonna be here tomorrow because I'm not.
I'll be here.
So you'll be here. Logan will be here, and Jack will be here. Me and David, we're gonna go off on a date somewhere tomorrow. I guess. I don't know.
And hopefully that doesn't mean Cerie's going.
Oh my God! Please, if Cerie okay, because if Cerie goes, I might pop on here just to scream and then leave, scream into the void, and then I'll leave. But no, but yeah, we'll somebody will be back here tomorrow to talk all things what is going on in Australia Survivor versus the world. It's been 4 amazing episodes thus far. If you have not watched it, you just happen to stumble upon this, then you should definitely go back and watch those episodes and then check out all of our recaps because they've been good too. We've been really recapping along with this season. It's been really, really great. So check all of our recaps out and check out any of the other videos on our channel. We truly, truly appreciate you. Follow us on all of our channels. On each channel, we're trying to get 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. If you want a podcast, DM us in our Instagram, please and thank you. Follow us on our audio podcast links. Join our Patreon. Follow us on all of our socials at The Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. And get your mug at lanagcreations.etsy.com. And that's going to do it for us. We're going to get out of here because we got more content to make. And you should just click on the next video. So we will see you all next time. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.